Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on January 12, 2023. Ukraine war pushes civilian casualties from explosive weapons to four-year high. The Guardian, Ukraine, Peru, Colombia and other topics. Daily press briefing, the 11th of January 2023. Yemen, 87 civilians killed by UK and US weapons in just over a year. The Guardian, Oxfam report finds UK fueling relentless violence in Yemen. The National, arms supplied by US, UK killed civilians in Yemen, report finds. Defense News, 87 civilians in Yemen killed by UK and US supplied weapons in little over a year, report says. The Independent, fueling conflict, analyzing the human impact of the war in Yemen. Idaho murders, update, Brian Koberger's comments about student stabbings revealed as Tinder date speaks out. The Independent, TikTok's true crime community is turning on Idaho murder survivors. Rolling Stone, Idaho student murders, remembering the victims. 48 Hours, Opinion, Idaho killings and criminology. The New York Times, online sleuths hijack the Idaho murders case. Should we blame them? Andrew Tate, live, influencer accused of human trafficking continues to reach millions online despite arrest. The Independent, why millions of men admire internet misogynist Andrew Tate. Vox.com, Andrew Tate appears in court over rape and human trafficking charges. Sky News, Andrew Tate's Twitter continues to reach millions of followers despite arrest. The Independent, kickboxer Andrew Tate *S shocking confessions, know everything about controversy, his net worth and investigation. UK accused of ignoring extremism over talks with Israel's new government. National security bill may have chilling effect on investigative journalism in UK. Exclusive, more than 70 US and Brazilian lawmakers condemn Trump-Bolsonaro alliance. The Guardian, 2 years after the Capitol riots in the US, Brazil now faces the reality democracy can be very fragile. Sky News, how MAGA culture infected Brazilian politics. MSNBC, the many similarities between Brazilian politics and the United States. Andrew Tate, how schools are tackling his influence. BBC, London teachers seeking expert help for schoolboys influenced by Andrew Tate's misogyny. Evening Standard, the online hierarchy of credibility that fuels influences like Andrew Tate. Life. News 24, I'm a teacher, this is what my 15-year-olds are saying about Andrew Tate. The Independent, PMQs, Labour MP says Andrew Tate's influence on young boys provokes incel culture. France plan to raise retirement age sparks strike threat. The Independent, Macron confronts the grim reality of France's pension time bomb. The Telegraph, French pension reform plans raise concern among manual workers. France 24 English. France 24 English, Emmanuel Macron's indispensable pensions overhaul. Financial Times, French ministers not scared of possible protests against the pension reform. Cardinal Pell, no state funeral in Victoria due to victim distress. BBC, Cardinal Pell's death brings few tears in Australia. BBC, the Catholic Church must free itself from this toxic nightmare. Ukraine war, who controls Soledar and why it matters. BBC, Soledar, Ukraine battle hints at rift in pro-Russian forces. BBC, Ukraine war, latest, Moscow fires top war commander, former Russian intelligence agent heavily implies he wants Putin removed from power. Sky News, Ukraine denies claim Russia controls town of Soledar. BBC News. BBC News, brutal, bloody battles, Russia's insane fight for Soledar. Ukraine stages war games near Belarus amid fears of Russian assault. Flood warning for millions in North California. BBC, life-threatening storms bring heavy rain and flooding to California. BBC News. BBC News, California suffers 955 mudslides and flash floods in 2 weeks as relentless storms continue. The Independent, at least 17 dead and a state of emergency declared as extreme storms hit California. Channel 4 News, California floods, sinkhole opens up in Chatsworth during deadly U.S. storm. Soaring food and energy prices could persist for next 2 years. The Guardian, Cost of living is biggest risk to world economy, says Davos Forum. The Times, cost of living crisis overshadows unavoidable climate action. Al Jazeera English, Global Risks Report 2023, the biggest risks facing the world. World Economic Forum, Global Risks Report 2023, how organizations can respond. A great day for the country, Uganda declares an end to Ebola outbreak. The Guardian, WHO, officials say Uganda's latest Ebola outbreak is over. The Independent, Uganda declares end to Ebola outbreak. Reuters, Uganda's Ebola outbreak over after doctors report no new cases for 6 weeks. The Telegraph, Uganda declares end to latest Ebola outbreak after 4 months. Second batch of classified Biden documents found. BBC, US. President Joe Biden's classified documents, Biden's secret documents discovered, News 18 Live. CNN News 18. Biden needs to apologize about those classified documents immediately. The Independent, did Biden also illegally hoard top-secret documents? Lützerath eviction, German police drag climate protesters from coal village. BBC, police evict climate activists squatting in village to prevent coal mine expansion. Guardian News, German climate activists clash with police in last stand to block coal mine. The Times, opinion, why the climate demands a last stand at Lützerath. DW, English, police move in on climate activists at German protest camp, Al Jazeera newsfeed. Ukraine News, live, Putin demotes most brutal military chief, General Armageddon. The Independent, Ukraine war, Sergei Surovikin removed as commander of Ukraine invasion force. BBC, Russia replaces general in charge of Ukraine war in latest military shake-up. The Guardian, top Russian military officer put in charge of troops fighting in Ukraine. Voice of America, VOA News, Russian pro-war voices lukewarm on sidelined commander's promotion. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.